Now, we're going to talk about using modal auxiliary verbs in statements. The three modal auxiliary verbs we'll cover are should, must, and have to. Disasters can be very unexpected. For that reason, families should have a natural disaster plan. When a disaster occurs, people must stay calm, so having a plan can help with that. Families have to communicate about what their plan is, how to prepare, and how to be safe. We use should, must, and have to give advice or suggestions. They follow this form in sentences: subject plus should, must, or have to, plus the base form of the verb. While the form stays the same for each modal, the meaning of each one is a little bit different. We often use should to give soft advice. That means that the advice is just a suggestion, not something that is extremely important. You should wear gloves during a snowstorm. This is soft advice. It would be a good idea for you to wear gloves while it's snowing, but it's not necessary. To form the negative, we can use not after should. If you go outside, you should not forget your gloves. Or, you shouldn't forget your gloves. This is not a good idea. Have to is used to give advice that is more important than should. We usually use have to mean that there's an important reason for doing something. He has to buy a flashlight before the storm. If he doesn't buy a flashlight, he'll be in the dark if the power goes out. Notice here how have to changed to has to. This is because have to must change based on the subject of the sentence. He has to buy a flashlight, but you have to buy a flashlight. To form the negative, we place do not or don't between the subject and have to or has to. I don't have to buy a new flashlight. Or, she doesn't have to buy a new flashlight. Again, notice how don't and doesn't change based on the subject. We use must to mean that the advice or suggestion is extremely important. We must stay calm during a natural disaster. Students must go under their desks during an earthquake. These are both extremely important pieces of advice. Notice how must does not change. Let's review. We can use should, must, and have to give advice and suggestions. While should gives soft advice, have to and must give stronger, more important advice. So remember, if you want to be prepared for natural disasters, you must have a safety plan. You should talk with your family or household and discuss your plan. Since disasters can be unexpected, it's important to be prepared.